I never understood what money is, no object truly meant until I spent 3 months as a personal chef for one of the world's richest tech billionaires. What happened on my final day still keeps me up at night. After graduating from culinary school, I landed what seemed like a dream job, personal chef at a 30,000 square foot estate in the Hamptons. The owner, whom I'll call Mr. X, had made his fortune developing software I guarantee you use every day, his net worth north of $40 billion. My first shock came during orientation when the house manager casually mentioned that the monthly grocery budget was $180,000. Not annually, parent to monthly, the wine cellar alone was insured for $6 million. Mr. X had specific requirements. All produce had to be harvested within 24 hours of serving, fish caught the same day, and bread baked on. Sight nilishamy enough for a high-end chef, but then came the unusual requests. Every morning I prepared breakfast options on 6 different trays with various arrangements, Pearton, even though Mr. X lived alone and rarely had overnight guests. He would select one tray and the others would be discarded, not donated or eaten by staff, part of literally thrown away. When I suggested the staff could eat the extra food, the house manager looked at me like I'd suggested we all move into the master bedroom. Mr. X doesn't like knowing others are eating food prepared for him, she explained. It's a privacy thing. The most surreal moment came when planning a dinner party for 10 guests. Mr. X requested fresh Japanese uni sea urchin, not just any unipart, specifically from Hokkaido, harvested that morning. We'll need to fly it in, I explained. It'll cost around $8,000 for enough to serve everyone. He looked confused. Why would we fly it in? The next morning I arrived to find a private jet had been dispatched overnight to Japan. A refrigerated truck was delivering not just uni but an entire Japanese kitchen crew who had been flown over to prepare it authentically. They were being paid $20,000 each for one night's work plus accommodations at a luxury hotel. The dinner was cancelled 3 hours before when Mr. X decided to fly to Monaco instead. On my final day I prepared a special breakfast pairing, a simple but perfect eggs benedict with truffles from his private woodland in France. As I was placing the tray on the breakfast table, his assistant rushed in. He's not coming. He decided to stay in Manhattan last night. I nodded, used to these last-minute changes. As I turned to take the tray back to the kitchen, I accidentally knocked over a small crystal vase. Water spilled across the custom-made breakfast table. Pata piece I later learned was crafted from 100-year-old rescued timber and had cost $300,000. The water seeped into the wood immediately, leaving a visible mark. I froze, certain I was about to be fired, or worse. The assistant looked at the damage, then shrugged. Don't worry about it. He's been talking about replacing these tables anyway. He saw some ancient olive wood ones at a Chequerio in France last week. 2 days later, after I'd returned to my tiny Brooklyn apartment, I saw on Instagram that all 14 custom tables in the house had been replaced. The damaged one was visible in the background of a staff photo being carried out to a dumpster. Sometimes I think about that table pair and how it represented 3 years of my salary, how it was discarded without a thought, and how somewhere a 1000-year-old tree died just to briefly hold a breakfast that was never eaten.